What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Masayuki, appearing composed, was internally panicking.
What on earth is happening?
In the sudden turn of events, Masayuki lost all sense of reality.
Or rather, this sensation in my right hand is.
A soft, fluffy feeling came from his right hand. Masayuki's brain finally processed what was happening. When he tried to help Hinata up, he had tripped over a small stone, causing both of them to fall. His right hand accidentally landed on Hinata's chest, entirely unintended. It was a fortunate turn of events, to put it mildly. Moreover, the closeness of their faces allowed Masayuki to clearly see Hinata's true features. Her wide eyes sparkled like dark purple amethysts, her nose was straight, and her lips were full and fresh. Her flawless skin was translucent without any makeup.
She's incredibly beautiful. No wonder Rimuru-san is so taken with her.
This was Masayuki's way of escaping reality. It was understandable given the circumstances. Hinata's breath tickled his nose, and its sweet scent made his head spin. If not for Velgrin's frequent embraces and experiences, he might have fainted from sheer joy. Though it felt like a long time, it all happened in less than a second. Masayuki's brain kicked back into gear, realizing he couldn't keep staring at her. Hinata's eyes widened in surprise, making Masayuki think, of course she did. Naturally, anyone would think, what is this guy doing? He dreaded Hinata regaining her senses. Masayuki feared something terrible awaited him.
It's not what it looks like.
It's not true, Masayuki was screaming internally. Growing paler, he tried to stand up and explain.
Huh? Just now, something.
Masayuki felt a jolt on his back, realizing something had just passed over him. Then, a creeping dread filled him.
Masayuki?
What followed was Velgrin's scream. It wasn't anger directed at Masayuki but a voice of genuine concern. What had just happened? In fact, at the exact moment of Masayuki's fall, someone had attacked. Velgrind was the only one who noticed. It was an attack so subtle even Testarossa couldn't detect it. She hurried to check the link with Mas, but before she could call out, Masayuki had avoided the attack by accidentally falling. If not for his stumble, he would have been killed. Indeed, he was a lucky boy. This time, his luck had saved him once more.
Whoa, was I really being targeted?
Masayuki, who realized it late, paled for another reason, but he was still fortunate it was over. Then, Hinata moved. It would have been dangerous and foolish to remain in a targeted spot. So, Hinata rolled over and embraced Masayuki. Masayuki was overwhelmed with emotion. The sensation of being held, the silky feel of Hinata's hair against his cheek. It tickled and smelled so good, he wanted to escape reality. However, that wasn't an option. Or rather, this wasn't the time.
No way. I never thought you'd evade my assassination attempt.
A man in a black outfit with pure white wings cried out in surprise. It was Ario's. The unique skill, Murderer, based on the ultimate enchantment, Punishment King Sandalphon, had the power of presence concealment. This skill made those under its influence unnoticeable until they took action. With this skill, Arios and Feldway had been hiding, observing the situation. Then, as Masayuki appeared, Arios launched a desperate assassination attempt which failed. Ready to try again, Arios found himself confronted by two men.
Masayuki's enemies are my enemies.
Well, that's how it is. I won't let you lay a hand on His Majesty.
With that, Venom and Minutes joined the fray. A little later, Bernie and Jiwoo appeared.
I was tasked with protecting His Majesty, yet I missed the assassin. For this failure, I will...
No, it's fine.
Bernie and Jiwoo had been hiding and guarding Masayuki, but they hadn't realized Arios was nearby. This oversight was a significant blunder, though not their fault. However, Masayuki was desperate to deny it. If he didn't, they might take the blame and do something drastic, like commit suicide. He decided to focus them on the enemy and let the matter drop. As a result, the four of them took up arms against Arios to protect Masayuki. The battlefield's dynamics had shifted. Testarossa and Moss were on high alert. Cian was single-handedly keeping the knights occupied. Hinata struggled to get up, while Masayuki supported her. Venom and the Empire's top officials arrived to protect Masayuki. Nikolaus, who had called for Velgrind and Masayuki or joined them en route, was infuriated by Hinata's sorry state. Meanwhile, Velgrind wore a bewitching smile. On the opposing side, Reiner, frustrated by his failure to finish off the cornered Hinata, looked irate. Vega reveled in the chaos, grinning broadly. Arios's assassination attempt had failed. Feldway was irked by the collapse of his seemingly successful plan. Reiner's surviving subordinates were still in the fray. With Masayuki and Velgrind now in the mix, the battlefield had become even more chaotic. The royal capital's residents listened to the broadcast anxiously. Those who could see the images were glued to their screens. Despite the discomfort caused by Rainer's words, there was no denying Prince Elric supported him. However, as the battle grew fiercer, Rainer's cruel tactics turned people off. He fought dishonorably, unbefitting of a knight. Furthermore, it wasn't Rainer's knights who were valiantly defending the capital but the Holy Knight Order and Templar Knights under Hinata's command. Regardless of whose words were believed, Hinata's knights had earned the people's trust. Some still supported Elric, but their numbers dwindled. When Hinata was in trouble, everyone prayed for her safety. Their prayers were answered by the appearance of a certain figure. Small whispers began to spread among those who saw the shining figure.
It's the Hiro-sama.
Hiro-sama?
It's the Hiro-sama.
It's Masayuki-sama. Hiro Masayuki-sama has returned.
Masayuki-sama has come back as the emperor.
It didn't take long for the whispers to grow into a loud chorus.
Masayuki! Masayuki!
Throughout the underground evacuation shelters, cheers echoed, causing the grounds to tremble. This phenomenon wasn't limited to the common people. The surviving royalty and influential aristocrats felt the same. No one was foolish enough to be misled by Elric's justification. Hinata, who had always protected humanity and upheld law and order, had no motive to kill the king. Moreover, this was during a world conference, held in the well-guarded kingdom of Ingratia. Even if she had intended to target the king, now would be the worst time to act. Only a force aiming to disrupt human society would attempt such a deed. Even the underworld ruler, Reg, had unofficially pledged cooperation for the conference's success. Without human society's progress, the underworld had no future. This argument was convincing, and the kingdom's upper echelons had agreed to cooperate. Therefore, it was clear that Prince Elric himself was the instigator.
The people were confused, but thanks to Masayuki Dono, they have regained their composure.
That's all well and good, but it puts us in an awkward position.
Indeed, if we had missed the true mastermind and left everything to foreign hands, we would have faced criticism later, undoubtedly.
The palace knights have been wiped out, but other forces remain, correct?
Deploy the 4 armies around the royal capital. All our troops.
Understood.
With that, the plan to regain control was set into motion. Masayuki, now the emperor of the Eastern Empire, needed support from those around him since they couldn't physically lift him up themselves. The 3 drunk sages sprang into action.
The 3 leaders wish to avoid chaos here. It would be foolish to waste our forces, so only the Musketeer Corps and I will proceed.
Glenda Attlee announced. Several prototype weapons developed in secret at Tempest were now being deployed. Glenda's Musketeer Corps, who had been specially modified in the Empire, were the carriers of these weapons. These elite soldiers, all at least a rank in combat ability, were skilled with various weapons. They carried powerful armaments, such as small anti-tank guns, rocket launchers, and handheld Gatling guns. The ammunition for these weapons was highly specialized and dangerous, intended only for use by those with expert knowledge.
Let's move out.
Yes.
Good luck to you all.
Even if we fall, our souls will be reborn as magens under God's eyes.
Glenda chuckled at her colleague's dramatic statement, though she didn't really expect that kind of thing. With less than 100 soldiers, she headed onto the battlefield. Masayuki felt overwhelmed by the swiftly changing situation. He felt completely out of the loop. However, Hinata's next comment made him feel even more trapped.
So, how long do you plan to keep squeezing my breasts?
She asked. Masayuki choked, flustered.
I'm not squeezing them. It was just an accidental touch.
He tried to think of an excuse, but turning to look at Hinata up close made him tense up due to her beauty. There were many beautiful women in Tempest, but they were extraordinarily beautiful. The same went for Velgrind, whose beauty was almost otherworldly. Hinata's beauty, on the other hand, was more familiar, like that of a Japanese face. Though her beauty had been enhanced by becoming a saint, she still had a unique charm that made one feel at ease. However, one should not be fooled by appearances. Masayuki had heard plenty about her from Rimuru. Hinata was someone he must never offend. Even Veldora agreed. She's relentless. No matter what you do, she will find a way to get back at you, Veldora had warned him seriously. Doing something inappropriate to someone who could instill fear in both a demon lord and a true dragon was not advisable. Realizing this, Masayuki quickly stood up and apologized to Hinata. Incidentally, although she appeared calm, Hinata was also quite shaken. She had never had her breasts touched by anyone before and wasn't sure how to react. If it had been intentional, Hinata would have dealt with it accordingly, but in Masayuki's case, it was entirely accidental. This made her unsure, ultimately sparing Masayuki.
I'm sorry. It wasn't on purpose.
He stammered, struggling for words. Hinata cut him off with a smile.
Just kidding. I know it was an accident,
she said. Despite her smile, Masayuki felt cold sweat down his back. He had no idea what was happening. His mind couldn't catch up. He wanted to explain, but he felt doomed if he did, so he stayed silent.
You can't be seriously offended by a simple mistake, can you? Hey, Masayuki, I'll let you touch mine as much as you want.
Velgrind joked with a laugh. No thank you, was something Masayuki couldn't say. He was still a young man, after all. However, he genuinely wished such an encounter would happen in a quiet and unobtrusive place. Hinata glanced at them stealthily, but when she tried to rise, she groaned in pain.
Hinata-sama.
Cardinal Nicolaus cried out as he hurried over to support her. Her arms and legs were still pierced, preventing her from standing.
I will heal you immediately,
he said, frantically casting the advanced holy magic high heal with great skill. Hinata quickly recovered and returned to the battlefield. With that, the battle resumed in its rearranged state.
Hinata-sama, are you sure about this? Shouldn't we leave this to Masayuki Dano?
Nicolaus suggested, but Hinata ignored him. Masayuki, horrified by Nicolaus's words, was greatly relieved to see that Hinata had no intention of doing so. There was nothing left but to hope Hinata would give her best effort. Understanding this, Hinata gave a slight smile. It was a truly cruel smile, highlighting Hinata's beauty, a stunning woman in men's clothing. The truth was, Hinata had lost her patience with Reiner. More importantly, she couldn't forgive herself for her earlier carelessness.
No, it's fine. I'm done waiting around.
It was a declaration of triumph. There was no room for pity for the one who had tormented her. Hinata had fully grasped the path to victory.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to the new members of AnimeKouhai supporters: Jerry Sladek, William Locke, Jordan Mersha, Jay Magsino, Reckerl17, Bismarck Munoz, Ryan Booker, Saagar Kotecha, Kamal Luke, Izat. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.